kick it off, I just want to introduce Michael Hennessy, the President and CEO of the Coleman Foundation, for a brief overview, and welcome.
Thanks, Clark. Many of you who are in on this call could give this story of the foundation. We've been involved in entrepreneurship education for about 30 years now. We're really excited about this program. I want to certainly welcome all the new fellows to the group and thank everybody, the existing fellows who've worked so hard in the last year to kind of move this project along. We really are excited about it and think this is really a next step for not only for the foundation but for entrepreneurship in general, and how to help those campus champions really lift entrepreneurship across campus and spread that message. Certainly people like Frank and Jerry know how lonely it was 30 years ago trying to be the one-man band, and we certainly believe that this is a solution to that. It is causing a buzz, we believe, across entrepreneurship education, and we hope you're as pleased and proud of that as we are. So you can see, those of you who don't know the foundation, we were started by two entrepreneurs, but they really didn't have an entrepreneurial vision for the foundation. It was the subsequent boards that took over in 1981 that began the program areas, which you can see are education, cancer, and disabilities. We are largely a Midwest regional foundation, so the bulk of our work is right here in the Chicago and the Midwest area. We have plunked down about $47 million over that 30 years to kind of support the things that are important to us and to many of you in talking about the importance of self-employment and improving that range. So I thank you very much for your participation, not only today but during the year. We hope you find it as exciting as we are.
We're very excited. There are about 125 fellows in the program this year, and that's fairly evenly split between prior year fellows who've been fellows before and brand new faculty members that are taking on fellowships here this year. Again, we have 20 campuses involved in the program, and really a pretty remarkable diversity of departments in which fellows are teaching. Some of them which have the larger number of fellows include art or design, where there are about 12 fellows, communications, about 10 fellows, theater and dance, 9 fellows. Here's the slide right here. So you see there's certain departments where we have kind of a group of fellows that are coming together, and then we've got some areas where we have single individuals representing their departments in some very unique and interesting departments. So what we mean to communicate here is that really we've got a real breadth of experience, a breadth of academic familiarity across the organization, but in each of these areas, self-employment education is relevant, and each of you has the opportunity to help embed and extend self-employment education across these departments. So we're very excited to have this broad group with us today. And we're going to take a few minutes here to do a little bit of an overview on the program. The key goals for the Fellows Program are these. Number one, to really build support for entrepreneurship education outside the business school. So the intent of the Fellows Program is to help you as a fellow to embed self-employment concepts into your courses, but also very importantly, to allow the lead entrepreneurship project director on your campus to be able to build a team. So fellows become part of a team on campus that those project directors cultivate and lead, so that as a team, self-employment education gains greater standing and greater momentum on your campus. So that's a core element of what we're trying to do, is really support those entrepreneurship educators on campus by helping them build a team. Secondly, and very importantly, the program intends to advance a very specific definition of entrepreneurship. And in a field where there are many different entrepreneurship or definitions of entrepreneurship, we hold to the one listed on this slide: self-employment through business ownership, which has significant elements of risk, control, and reward. So that's a very specific definition. We're going to be talking about that a lot more next time. Just want to leave you with that definition, and hopefully you with your teams on campus will have time to reflect upon what that means how that's relevant to your particular discipline. And then finally, of course, we're looking to cultivate really a cohort, a community of practice across these 20 campuses, including this 125 person plus program, and help to build not only on your single campus that team that will drive self-employment education forward, but also to help you link to your counterparts on other campuses, so that you can learn what they're doing that's in your field, and together drive forward self-employment education. Now this slide's a little bit different, so those of you that have been with us the last few years, please pay some careful attention to this slide. What we're intending to do here, based on now 2 or 3 years of experience in the program, is more clearly lay out the expectations for the Fellows program. And so this is a bit of a flow chart, in a framework called a logic model, where we're trying to describe outcomes and activities and how those things would be measured. So the first step here is that Fellows will prepare self-employment content for non-business courses. And so the outcome there we expect to see is that there'll be new courses generated in many departments. Very simply, that's kind of what you've all signed up for, is to be able to offer new courses or modified courses in the departments in which you teach. The way in which we'll be monitoring that or checking that is through simple counting of the number of courses offered, number of departments in which those courses are offered, and the number of individuals enrolled in them. So if you look back at last year in the Fellows program, across the Fellows program there were about 190 courses that were either new or modified through the Fellows program, and there were over 2,300 students taking those courses. So this first column here kind of helps us understand the reach of the program. But again, it's really more activity-based. It's how many courses are being taught. If we go to the second box, the action there is the Fellows are going to deliver self-employment content in those courses. So obviously you're looking to kind of craft learning objectives and deliver course content that's going to advance on those learning objectives. So in the course delivery, we've got self-employment knowledge in these non-business courses delivered. And importantly, we're hoping that it's delivered in, as you'll see here, the language of the discipline. So we recognize that depending upon the type of course, there may be a different lexicon, a different approach, a different emphasis in terms of what self-employment concepts are most relevant. And you, as the expert in your field, are best suited to really translate the key concepts of self-employment that we'll be talking about into the language of your discipline. Now, the way in which we're going to be learning from you and understanding what you're doing is by closely monitoring the learning objectives that you state in your syllabi. So prior years we've had syllabi posted on our Coleman Fellows website. This year we're going to be looking very, very specifically for learning objectives that relate back to self-employment concepts. So be mindful that as you post syllabi, that's something the Foundation is looking for. What are those learning objectives that are clearly stated in your syllabi, and how are those advancing the goals that we communicate, the key concepts of self-employment? So those courses are delivered and taught by you, and obviously the next step is students are taking those courses and they are internalizing what you're learning and achieving learning objectives. So the goal there is to monitor what is happening in the classroom. And so what we'll be doing this year is providing and working with you to deliver our very simple pre- and post-tests that will ensure knowledge gain against those learning objectives that you've specified. And we're going to take much more time at future coffee hours to talk about this, and these pre- and post-tests will be designed and developed over the course of the fall so that when you're teaching in the spring, you'll be able to employ them in your classroom. But we're very much looking at student learning outcomes and intending to use a very simple pre- and post-test vehicle that will help us to understand the way that you're affecting learning change in your classrooms. All of that moves towards students being able to learn in the classroom, but then go outside the classroom and operationalize that learning action environment. So what we clearly intend the program to do is to inspire people not only pick up those skills, but then go outside and take action. And ways that we kind of can envision that action being manifest is through joining the CEO Club, for instance, or taking part in a CEO Club activity, involved in a business idea pitch or some other type of competition, or taking other type of active learning evidence. Now, we won't be kind of looking for a very rigorous, comprehensive evaluation system to assess that. What we're looking for is anecdotes that you will report back at the ColemanFellows.com website. And again, we'll be talking through all these vehicles in much more detail over the coming weeks and certainly at the CEO conference. But what we're really hoping to learn from you is how did the classroom experience change a student's perspective towards self-employment? Did they take action, and what did that action look like? So that's kind of the framework, the model that we're looking to use this year.